Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And we got another Vince McMahon fucking lawsuit going on. Vince again! Cause he can't fucking resist. Is part of another lawsuit. And this one's somehow more crazy. They keep getting crazier when it comes to Vince. WWE found a Vince McMahon accused of sexual abuse and trafficking in lawsuit by former employee. By Todd Spangler. It's on Variety. We'll get right into it. I'm gonna probably read this whole thing and talk about it, because this is fucking insane. A former employee of WWE sued founder Vince McMahon, allegedly abused and sexually exploited her when he was CEO of the wrestling entertainment company, and that McMahon allegedly trafficked her to other men as a pawn to secure talent deals with prospective wrestlers the company was recruiting. That's already a fucking insane statement. Like, fucking hell, Vince. The former WWE employee, Janelle Grant, filed a lawsuit in U.S. District Court for the District of Connecticut Tuesday, naming McMahon, WWE, and the former head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis, as defendants. Somehow, John Laurinaitis has become the most evil person in Vince's office besides Vince. He's somehow the worst other person to be in Vince's office. That is fucking insane. Evil fuckers on here. The lawsuit alleges McMahon, Laurinaitis, and WWE violated the Trafficking Victims Prevention Act and includes claims of civil battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress in relation to years-long sexual and emotional abuse. Grant said she endured as an employee of WWE. The lawsuit seeks unspecified monetary damages as well as a declaratory judgment that a non-disclosure agreement Grant signed while she was with WWE employee is void and unenforceable and does not bar any of the plaintiff's claims against defendants McMahon and WWE. Copy of the lawsuit is available. This link. Let's click it. Let's click it. This is the first time seeing this. I'm surprised it's just Vince and John, to be honest. Plaintiff Janelle Grant is a former employee of WWE who was a victim of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking at WWE. Ms. Grant is filing this lawsuit not just to address her own suffering, but to act for those who are afraid to speak out. Like that way of wording? WWE's billionaire founder, executive chairman, defendant Vince McMahon lived in a penthouse duplex in Grant's apartment building. The two met in March 2018 when Grant was dealing with profound grief and struggling financially. After devoting years to around-the-clock caregiving, her parents passed away. On top of that, she was unemployed, and her family home was lost in her parents' bankruptcy. After her family passed away, Mrs. Grant dedicated herself to find gainful employment, named her ability to provide career advice, and saw her assist with personal events. Mrs. Grant used these non-paying roles and volunteer work community initiatives to build her resume. The Bills' resident manager wanted to help. She messaged McMahon to ask whether he would talk to her, sharing that Mrs. Grant has been through some hardships and would do great things if given a fresh start. McMahon enthusiastically responded, hell yeah. Yeah, he saw this part. He saw would do great things if get a fresh start. He's like, oh, I bet she would do great things to get a fresh start. Evil bastard mind thought totally different. Evil fucker is this bastard. McMahon befriended Mrs. Grant, giving her hopes of a new life of promises of a yet to be determined role in WWE, and showering her with attention and assurances, along with gifts like a VIP experience of WrestleMania, which seemed like a dream in the spring of 2019, quickly became a nightmare. Yeah, because Vince is a fucking evil, manipulative little fucker. How far does this go? How many pages on here? Oh my lord, there's a lot of pages. I don't know if I'll get on this whole thing, but fucking hell. What the fuck does that mean? McMahon warned Mrs. Grant. I'm gonna. Because I can't read each part of this, because this will go on for fucking ages. But I need to read some of this. As a man tangled career-making and life-changing promises in front of Mrs. Grant, he demonstrated an increased lack of boundaries. During some meetings that was about a potential job, he agreed to underwear, touched her repeatedly, asked for hugs, and spent hours sharing intimate details about his personal life. McMahon warned Mrs. Grant to keep their closeness secret. Least rumors lead to public trouble, and added that while he protects loyal people, he had world-class legal resources on speed dial to deal with people who become a problem. You're gonna fucking need them now, you old bastard. You're gonna fucking need them now. McMahon warned Mrs. Grant to keep their closeness secret. At least rumors. No, I already read that. As such, while McMahon pushed Mrs. Grant for a physical relationship in return for long pause of employment, she felt trapped in impossible situations. Submitting to McMahon's sexual demands to facing ruin, McMahon feared that she had everything to lose to face negative consequences no matter what happened. I could completely see her mindset in that, yeah. I could completely see her mindset in thinking that. After succumbing to the pressure for a physical relationship, was slotted into an entry-level position as the administrative coordinator, a position McMahon created for her in WWE's legal department. McMahon began working that role on June 7, 2019. This is insane. Mrs. Grant made him with the exception of a temporary location to XFL, Extreme Football League, until McMahon verbally directed a transfer to the Talent Relations Department, reporting defendant John Laurinaitis on March 19, 2021 during a conversation the same day. McMahon explained that her presence in the legal department was effectively delaying efforts to hire a new general counsel for the company. In March 2020, McMahon began sharing sexually explicit photographs and videos of Mrs. Grant, pornographic content he recorded with other men both inside and outside the company, including with members of the television production tech team's executive producers, and a world famous and former UFC heavyweight champion of whom WWE was actually trying to sign a new contract with, and ultimately did sign that contract. So this is where they believe Brock Lesnar was involved. This part here, 15, is where they believe Brock was involved. Oh, Brock Lesnar's part is what made me sad, because I was like, oh, I don't want Brock involved in this lawsuit. I don't want to leave Foxy here. Ah. I'm not reading this, but this part's fucking insane. Unsurprisingly, others at WWE knew what was going on, but instead of intervening to protect Mrs. Grant, WWE actually sought wonder. WWE has protected Vince and his fucking evil bullshit for too fucking long. In January 2022, McMahon told Mrs. Grant that his wife had found out about the relationship, probably to avoid divorce. Negative publicity and other things. McMahon said that Ms. Grant's time at WWE was at an end, that he wanted to sign NDA to ensure silence on, among other things, his personal misconduct. In the days ahead, McMahon put Mrs. Grant under immense pressure to sign, saying that he would refuse. That review would not only jeopardize McMahon, his family, and the company, but that she surely become a public headline, suffer reputational ruin, including from the pornographic content McMahon had captured, and face McMahon's legal resources. Conveniently, McMahon reassured her that her signature would ensure his continual support and protection safeguard her reputation. Ultimately, this again succumbed to the pressure of signing in exchange for payments, which McMahon later stopped making. So I'm going to assume this is why she's coming out, because she signed an NDA. I feel like the lawsuit has a problem. But if she has not made full, I guess, I don't know, because I'm trying to say, I'm trying to figure out this, because the NDA part makes things interesting. I'm not trying to take WWE side, but when you sign an NDA, it's fucking hard to sue afterwards, because you could get up and you can end up losing. She could lose here because of that. Even after pushing Mrs. Grant out of the company and muzzling her with an NDA, McMahon continued efforts to exploit her, including attempting to traffic her to a WWE superstar who would be in New York City for a live and TV tape on March 20. What the fuck, Vince? You are. What the fuck? What the actual fuck, Vince, is wrong with you? You are undoubtedly evil, Vince. You are fucked up. Understandably, McMahon's predatory conduct has left Mrs. Grant crippled both physically and mentally, including from debilitating symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and suicide ideations. These symptoms led to termination from a subsequent job, ruining her building's operation due to her inability to leave her home for weeks at a time. Despite McMahon's promise of reputational protection, WWE appears to have leaked information that led to a public disclosure of her name by a media blogger who cited a source in WWE with direct knowledge of the situation, which, upon if his belief, was all attacked to aim at Mrs. Grant. So this is Brad Shepard. This whole thing is Brad Shepard. This is the fucker who released this information with not a second thought. That evil fucker, that piece of shit has no self-regard, doesn't care about anyone, and just took everything and released it. When he got her name, he immediately released it. Brad Shepard is the fucking problem here. Um, WWE has also attempted to sweep the matter under the rug following media reports that McMahon was involved in a hush money payment scandal. WWE released a statement in June 2022 to announce a special committee of its board of directors was investigating alleged misconduct and appointed Stephanie McMahon as interim CEO and an interim chairwoman. In this capacity, Mrs. McMahon publicly affirmed her commitment to doing everything in her power to help the special committee's work and to implement its findings. She also declared that the importance of a safe and collaborative workspace. Notwithstanding this public statement, the investigation was a sham. In November 2020, WWE touted the conclusion of the special committee investigation into misconduct. Yes, and yet the special committee never even bothered to interview Ms. Grant because any documents by Ms. Grant stand that she would cooperate. That's because they knew it already. They knew everything already. This part, they knew it all, and yet they didn't want to get involved. In SEC funds, the company tried to divert the attention away from McMahon's abuse of women by focusing on the technical issue of how much hush money was accounted for. For, in the words of the company, the issue was emotional accounting errors related to certain payments that Mr. McMahon agreed to make during the period from 2006 through 2022. Emphasis added. Through all this trauma, Mrs. Grant had endured profound suffering in silence, feelings of exploitation, loss of security, and the fear of facing the wrath of WWE McMahon's army of attorneys as you would come forward and bring the light to these alleged act details herein. That time has passed, and Michigan seeks to hold defense accountable for the reprehensible and unlawful actions for her own sake and for others. Fucking A. Fucking A. Michigan seeks a declaration judgment that NDA is invalid under federal and state laws and asserts claims other laws, including the Trafficking Victims Protection Act. Alright, so that's all I'm going to read about that part specifically. Because there's a lot to it. But there was so much to get into here. I will leave, this link will be in the description so you can see it. You can look into it. You can read the thing yourself because it's a fucking hell of a story. It's a hell of a lawsuit. It is pure evil, pure disgusting behavior by Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE to keep this silent. Brock Lesnar's name is in there. It's insane. I don't know where this leads. If there's updates on this, if there's more people that come out, I'll be right on that shit. Ladies and gentlemen, though, let me know what you think of this story in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all for the next one.